Did you know you could go skiing in Missouri this winter? At Hidden Valley Ski Resort just outside of St. Louis, crews work to make that winter dream a reality, but the process is not as easy as it sounds. General Manager Jesse Kimes says one of the hardest parts of running a ski resort in Missouri is getting folks to remember that they are indeed open, even if it doesn't actually snow.
One of the coolest things for me is when I go home and there's nothing there and come back in the morning and we've got a winter wonderland here.
Pumped from this pond through several industrial pumps, this still body of water is what will soon become fresh powder falling from these towers later this winter. But it's more complicated than just freezing the water. That would blanket the hills in ice pellets or sheets of ice, as would happen with sleet or freezing rain, and neither sound all that safe or enjoyable. For that soft powder, we want tiny ice crystals to form and then grow into snowflakes. For that, you need even tinier water droplets that are really cold. In fact, they need to be well below freezing. We call these supercooled water droplets, and with no help, these drops can cool to 40 below without freezing. That is, if they are without impurities. They need what we call a nuclei to start the freezing process. These are foreign particles like dust that help begin the freezing process of these supercooled droplets at a warmer temperature. Manager of Mountain Operations Dylan Vorbeck says, "This is the easy part."
Do you have enough impurities in that pond?
We do.
Snow guns turn liquid droplets into tiny crystals by spraying pressurized water and air through what is called a nucleator, which Vorbeck says is the key to it all.
It forces that ice crystal by letting the air expand, creating turbulence in the air, and whenever air expands, it cools down.
The cooling process of expansion makes the spray cold enough for the nuclei, or impurities, to start freezing the droplets. Once an ice crystal forms, these droplets can freeze to them when they collide through turbulence, and then the process repeats. And this can take some time, so you'll notice most of these far from the ground. This gives crystals time to freeze before hitting the ground, which is extra beneficial on those more mild days. Some days are better for snowmaking than others, but Kimes says keep an eye out as soon as temperatures get near freezing.
And that November, December area is when you really want to start looking, and we'll hope to be open as soon as it gets cold.
Now, we want it to be cold and dry to make snow, and clearly it's a little too warm and humid today, but it won't be for much longer. While we can't always count on snow in Missouri during the winter months, we can usually count on enough cold and dry days to make hitting the slopes possible, even here in Missouri.